Kieran adjusted her helmet and stepped carefully among the tall silver trees of Arvella's misty forest. The air shimmered with faint green light, and every step made a soft hum beneath her boots. She had walked this path many times, but tonight felt different. The forest felt alive in a way she had never noticed before. Shadows moved in ways that were almost conscious, and the wind carried a scent she could not place. Her mission was simple: explore, record, and return. But Kieran's instincts told her this night would not end simply. She glanced at her scanner. Nothing unusual, at least on the instruments. Yet the energy in the air made her heart beat faster. She gripped her plasma rifle, though she hoped she would not need it. Suddenly a rustle came from above. Kieran froze. The shadows of the trees stretched in strange patterns, and then she saw him. A figure dropped from the canopy, landing gracefully on the soft forest floor. His presence was impossible to ignore. Tall, broad-shouldered, with golden armor that reflected the moonlight. He looked like a warrior from a story rather than reality. His eyes glowed faintly, and his expression was calm but alert. "You should not be here alone," he said in a voice that was both deep and smooth. Kieran raised her rifle instinctively, but she sensed no threat from him. "Who are you?" she asked, keeping her tone steady. "I am Tavir," he said. "And you are far from your base, human." Kieran's pulse quickened. She had heard stories of alien warriors in the galactic archives, but none had ever set foot near human colonies. And now, here he was, in front of her, not as an enemy, but as a presence that demanded attention. "I am Kieran," she said. "I am exploring the misty forests. I do not want trouble." Tavor studied her for a moment. "Then you must leave quickly. Danger is near." Before Kieran could ask more, the air vibrated with a low growl. From the shadows, creatures emerged. They were like nothing Kieran had ever seen, slender, with multiple limbs and jagged teeth that gleamed in the dim light. Their eyes burned with an unnatural red glow. They moved with speed and precision, surrounding her. Tavera stepped forward, his stance steady. "Move behind me," he ordered. Kieran obeyed, staying close as Tavora drew a blade of energy. The weapon hummed with power, and the creatures hesitated. Then, as if sensing a predator far stronger than themselves, they attacked. Kieran fired her rifle, hitting one creature in the chest. It screeched and collapsed. But more came from the shadows, and soon she realized they were outnumbered. Tavir moved with incredible speed, his blade flashing and cutting through the attackers with precision. Kieran had never seen anyone fight like this. Every movement of his was calculated, graceful, and deadly. "Keep your head down," Tavir said. "Do not waste your energy." Kieran ducked behind a tree as he leapt and spun, cutting down the creatures one by one. She felt a strange mixture of fear and awe. Despite the danger, there was something mesmerizing about him. He was unlike any human she had ever met, and yet there was a sense of honor in the way he fought. The battle seemed to last forever, though in reality it was only minutes. When the last creature fell, the forest grew quiet again. Kieran's heart pounded, and sweat ran down her face. She looked at Tavir. He was calm, breathing evenly, as if he had done this many times before. "You are strong," Kieran said, her voice trembling slightly. Tavor's eyes softened, just a little. "You are brave, human. Not many would face them alone." Kieran shook her head. "I did not expect anyone else here. How did you find me?" Tavor did not answer immediately. He scanned the forest, as if sensing something beyond sight. Finally he said, "This forest calls to me. It senses energy, danger, and life. It led me to you." Kieran felt a strange warmth at his words. There was no pretense in his voice, no hidden threat. Just a truth she could not explain. "I do not understand," she said softly. "Why would the forest care about me?" Tavor's gaze lingered on her. "Because your presence is unique. You are human, but you carry something in your energy that is rare. It is not just courage. It is something more." Kieran blinked, unsure how to respond. She had always known humans were adaptable, resilient, and curious, but she had never thought of herself as anything special. Yet the way Tavor looked at her was as if he could see through the surface and into something deeper. "Thank you," she said finally. Though the words felt small compared to the feeling rising inside her, Tavor nodded once. There is no time for gratitude. Danger may return. You should rest, prepare, and leave this place soon. Kieran hesitated. She wanted to ask more, to understand him, to understand the strange pull she felt toward him. But before she could speak, Tavor turned and vanished into the forest shadows. She called after him, but he did not answer. The forest seemed empty again, but Kieran felt that the night had changed her. Her heart raced, and her mind buzzed with questions. Who was he really? Why had he appeared? And what did he mean when he said her energy was unique? She returned to her base, moving quickly but carefully. The glow of Arvella's moons guided her steps, but she could not shake the feeling that she was being watched. Perhaps it was just her imagination. Perhaps it was more. When Kieran finally reached the settlement, she reported her findings to her commander. They listened politely, but she could tell they did not fully understand. Alien warriors were supposed to be myths, not reality. Be careful, her commander said. Do not wander too far again. The forests are dangerous at night. Kieran nodded, but her thoughts were elsewhere. She could still see Tavor's glowing eyes, still hear the hum of his energy blade, still feel the warmth of his presence. The forest had changed her tonight. She felt stronger, more aware, more alive than ever before. She went to her quarters and looked out at the twin moons of Arvella. The silver light reflected on the walls and made the shadows dance. Her mind kept returning to him, to the strange energy that connected them. To the possibility that this encounter was only the beginning, Kieran could not know what the future held. She could not know that the night had set in motion events that would alter the lives of humans and aliens alike. She could not know that Tavor would return, that their bond would grow stronger, and that the consequences of their meeting would reach far beyond the misty forests. For now, she only knew one thing. That night had changed everything, and deep inside, she felt a spark of something new, something that whispered of destiny, courage, and a future she could barely imagine. The forest was silent. The stars shone above, and Kieran's heart beat with the quiet knowledge that life on Arvella would never be the same again. Months had passed since that night in the misty forests. Kieran felt a change within herself that she could not explain. She awoke earlier than usual, her senses sharper, and her thoughts clearer. Even small sounds, the hum of the settlement generators, the rustle of the wind through the silver trees, felt alive to her. She could anticipate movements before they happened and react faster than anyone else at first. She thought it was stress, or perhaps excitement from exploring Arvella, but soon it became clear that this was something else entirely. She could feel energy flowing around her, like a faint vibration in the air. It was strongest when she was near the misty forests, as if the forest itself was trying to communicate. Her colleagues noticed the change too. One morning, Dran, her friend and fellow explorer, watched her jump easily over a fallen log and said, "Kieran, you move differently. Faster, smarter. Are you training harder than usual?" Kieran shook her head. "I don't know, Dran. I feel different. It is not training. Something inside me has changed." Dran frowned. "Different how, you mean? Like something alien?" Kieran smiled slightly. "I don't know, maybe. I just feel stronger. I can sense things more clearly." She did not tell Dran about Tavor. That night in the misty forest had left a deep impression on her. But she was unsure if anyone would believe her. Even if they did, she worried about how it would affect her position in the human settlement. She wanted to understand this change on her own first. Kieran spent her days testing herself. She ran through the forests, climbing trees with ease, leaping across streams without touching the water. She listened to the sounds of Arvella and could tell when animals were near before seeing them. She could feel small tremors in the ground, the movement of creatures hidden beneath the surface. One evening, while she meditated near a crystal-clear lake, she felt a ripple of energy across her body. The air shimmered, and a strange warmth spread through her chest. She opened her eyes and saw the reflection of the twin moons on the water. Her heartbeat quickened. She realized that the energy she felt was not just part of the planet Tit, was part of her now. "What is happening to me?" she whispered. The question hung in the night air unanswered. The forest was quiet, the stars shining above. Kieran felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Whatever had begun that night with Tavir was continuing inside her. She could not control it. Weeks later, while recording data near the edge of the settlement, Kieran noticed a blip on her scanner. A ship had entered Arvella's orbit. Its shape was unlike any human vessel. Sleek, tall, and shimmering with energy, it hovered silently above the forests. Kieran's pulse quickened. She felt a strange sense of recognition. She ran to the observation deck, her fingers trembling as she scanned the ship. She could feel the energy it emitted. It was familiar, like a memory she could not place. "Commander," she called. "There is a ship in orbit. It is not human, I think. I think it belongs to Tavor." Her commander, a serious woman named Vela, studied the readings. "Are you certain, Kieran? We have never detected anything like this in Arvella's orbit." Kieran nodded. "I am certain. I feel it. It is him. Something tells me he has returned." Vela raised an eyebrow. "Feelings do not make facts. We will prepare for contact, but be careful. Unknown alien ships can be dangerous." Kieran did not argue. She stayed at the observation deck, watching the ships silently hover above the forests. Hours passed, and as the twin moons climbed high in the sky, a small craft detached from the main vessel and descended toward the settlement. Kieran's heart raced. She felt an invisible pull in her chest, drawing her forward. She ran down the corridors, ignoring the curious stares of the other explorers. She reached the landing area just as the craft touched the ground. The hatch opened, and Kieran's breath caught. Tavor stepped out just as she remembered him, but this time he was not alone. In his arms was a small child, wrapped in a blanket that shimmered faintly with golden light. The child's eyes opened, wide and curious. Kieran's heart skipped a beat. The child looked human, but with faint marks on the skin that glowed softly in the moonlight. The child's gaze met Kieran's, and she felt a strange recognition. It was as if she could see a part of herself reflected in the child. Tavor set the child down gently and stepped forward. "Kieran," he said, his voice calm but intense, "this is Zari. She belongs to both of us. She carries the energy of Arvella, and she has abilities that are rare among both our species." Kieran knelt down slowly, reaching out her hands. Zari looked at her and smiled, a small, knowing smile. Kieran felt a warmth she had never felt before. The energy within her seemed to resonate with the child, as if they were connected by something invisible but unbreakable. "Zari," Kieran whispered, feeling tears prick her eyes. She is our child." Tavor nodded. "Yes, she is part human, part alien. She will grow to have strengths from both her parents. But she is young, and her energy will attract attention. We must protect her." Kieran's mind raced. Questions, fears, and awe collided inside her. How had this happened? How had Tavor returned? And what did it mean for the humans on Arvella? Before she could speak, alarm sounded. The energy around Zari pulsed, reacting to a faint but growing presence nearby. Kieran realized immediately that the child's abilities were detectable, not just by humans, but by others who might see Zari as a threat or a prize. Tavor's eyes narrowed. "They know she is here. We do not have much time." Kieran stood, her resolve firm. She felt the energy within her rise again, stronger than ever. She knew that she could help protect Zari. She could fight alongside Tavor. Humans might not be the strongest individually, but together they were adaptable, clever. And courageous Vela and the settlement guards arrived, weapons ready. Eyes wide at the sight of Tavor and Zari, some of them whispered in fear, but Kieran stepped forward, placing herself between the adults and Zari. "This is our child," she said firmly. "She is not a threat. She needs our protection, not our fear." The commander studied her. Then, slowly, she nodded. "Very well, Kieran, we will follow your lead. But be ready for anything. Unknown aliens may arrive at any moment." Tavera placed a hand on Kieran's shoulder. "We will face this together. Zari is strong, but she needs guidance. And you are part of that guidance." Kieran nodded. She looked at the child, her heart swelling with a mixture of love and determination. Zarissa's tiny hand reached out, brushing against hers, and a spark of energy passed between them. Kieran felt it deep inside her, a bond that could not be broken. The night stretched on, and the twin moons reflected on the settlement's walls. Kieran could feel the future approaching like a tide, unstoppable and full of unknowns. But for the first time, she did not feel fear. She felt strength, courage, and a deep understanding of what humans could accomplish, no matter what came next. She and Tavora would protect Zari, no matter what challenges arose. Humans had the ingenuity, bravery, and spirit to face them. And in Zari, a new kind of life had begun, one that bridged species, combined strength, and held the potential to change the galaxy. Kieran took a deep breath, feeling the energy of Arvella, of Tavor, and of Zari flowing through her. She knew that her life had changed forever. She also knew that this was only the beginning. The forest waited silently. The stars watched from above. And Kieran, stronger and braver than ever, prepared to step into the unknown future. The days after Tavor's arrival passed in a whirlwind of preparation and wonder. Kieran stayed close to Zari, learning the child's rhythms, her small but powerful energy, and the faint alien marks that shimmered softly under the twin moons of Arvella. Zari's presence seemed to fill the human settlement with a quiet intensity. People whispered in awe, some in fear, but everyone watched with fascination. Tavor moved among them with ease. His golden armor, though muted in the settlement, still commanded respect. Humans who had never seen an alien warrior regarded him with a mixture of caution and curiosity. Tavor spoke little, letting his actions and the way he carried Zari convey more than words could. Kieran noticed the subtle ways he interacted with the child, protective, patient, and attentive. Every gesture was deliberate, every movement precise. "You must understand something," Tavira said to Kieran one morning, while they trained near the edge of the misty forests. "Zari's energy is not ordinary. It is strong, ancient, and capable of great things. You will see her grow, and you will see what humans are capable of when united with purpose." Kieran nodded. "I already see it, Tavor. Even now she reacts to my energy. I can feel her, it is. Like she is part of me, and part of you at the same time." Tavor studied her face, his expression serious but calm. "Exactly. And humans are rare in the galaxy. Your species has resilience, creativity, and courage that surpass many advanced beings. Zari's strength will reflect those traits, but she also inherits abilities from me. Together, she is something unique." Kieran thought about the changes she had felt in herself over the past months. The sharper senses, the awareness of energy, the ability to react faster, all of it felt connected to Zari and Tavor. The child's presence seemed to awaken something within her. She had been human, ordinary in many ways, but now she felt extraordinary. One afternoon, while Kieran observed Zari playing near a crystal stream, a sudden disturbance rippled through the air. Zari froze, her small body tense, her eyes widening. Kieran's heart raced. She could feel the child's energy reacting to something distant yet powerful. "Tavir," Kieran called, her voice tense. "Something is coming." Tavor appeared instantly at her side. He scanned the forest, senses sharper than any human's. His eyes narrowed as he detected movement far beyond what Kieran could see. "They are coming," he said. "A faction that hunts unique energy has detected Zari. We must prepare." Kieran's mind raced. "Can they reach us here? The settlement is safe, isn't it?" Tavor shook his head. "Not entirely. Their technology is advanced and they are relentless. We have a short window to act before they arrive." Human guards hurried to secure the settlement, but Kieran could see the fear in their eyes. She took a deep breath, feeling the energy within her rise again. "We can face them," she said firmly. "Humans can adapt. We can fight together, and Zari is part of that strength." Kovir nodded. "Then we will show them why humans are not so easily defeated." As the sky darkened, a fleet of sleek, dark ships descended from the atmosphere. They hovered silently above the forests, their lights glowing ominously. Kieran felt a ripple of tension pass through the settlement. Many humans whispered prayers, while others readied weapons. Zari watched the ships with wide, unblinking eyes, as if she already knew the danger. The first attack came without warning. Energy blasts streaked across the sky, and the settlement's defenses fired back. Kieran sprinted to Zari, scooping the child into her arms. She could feel Zari's energy responding, a soft glow surrounding them both. The child's small hands pressed against her chest, and Kieran felt a surge of strength unlike anything she had known. Tavor appeared beside them, his blade of energy humming as he moved with precision. He cut through the advancing drones with swift, graceful movements. Kieran followed, using her heightened awareness to anticipate attacks. Dodge incoming fire and protect Zari. Keep moving, Tavora shouted. Do not let them corner us. Kieran nodded, her heart pounding. She leaped over debris, slid across the ground, and felt an energy-driven instinct guiding her every move. The humans around her were amazed. They had faced attacks before, but never with such coordination, such instinctive response. It was as if Kieran's human spirit had merged with something larger, something extraordinary. Zari single quotes brighter as the battle intensified. Kieran felt it, a powerful resonance that allowed her to sense the enemies before they appeared. She guided the human guards, signaling when to dodge and when to strike. The attackers were relentless, but the combination of human ingenuity, Kieran's heightened senses, Tavor's combat skills, and Zari's emerging abilities created a force no enemy could easily overcome at one critical moment. A massive drone broke through the defenses, heading straight toward the center of the settlement. Kieran saw it first, felt it before anyone else did. She grabbed Zari tightly, leaping onto a nearby structure. Tavor intercepted the drone, striking with a precision blow that sent it crashing into the ground. Sparks and energy flared, illuminating the forest with bursts of light. Zari laughed softly, a sound that carried hope in the midst of chaos. Kieran looked down at her, marveling at the child's courage. "You are stronger than you know, Zari," she whispered, "and together we are unstoppable." The battle continued through the night, but gradually the attackers began to retreat. Their numbers were great, but they had not anticipated the unity between humans and the alien warrior, nor the unique energy of Zari as the last ship disappeared into the atmosphere. Tavor lowered his blade and turned to Kieran. "You have done well," he said, his voice calm but proud. "Humans are remarkable. Your courage, adaptability, and determination are unmatched. Zari reflects these traits, and you have guided her wisely." Kieran smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "It was not just me," she said. "The humans here, they fought bravely. We all did this together, and Zari, she showed us what she is capable of." Abra nodded. "Yes, she is powerful, but she must learn control. Her abilities are tied to emotion and intention. Fear or anger could amplify them beyond what she can manage. Guidance is essential." Kieran looked at the child, who was now asleep in her arms. Zari's faint glow dimmed, leaving a soft shimmer in the moonlight. Kieran felt a surge of determination. She would teach Zari, protect her, ensure she understood both her human and alien sides. Over the following days, the settlement began to recover. Repairs were made, and humans shared stories of bravery and cooperation. Kieran and Tavor worked together to train Zari in small ways, allowing the child to touch objects with energy without causing harm, to sense danger before it arrived, and to understand the importance of patience and focus. The connection between Kieran and Tavor deepened as well. They communicated without words, understanding each other through shared glances and subtle gestures. Kieran realized that the night in the misty forests had set the foundation for something larger than either of them had anticipated. Their bond, combined with the child's unique heritage, was shaping the future in ways the galaxy had never seen. One evening, as the twin moons reflected on the lake near the settlement, Kieran sat with Zari on her lap while Tavora trained at the edge of the forest. Zari reached out her tiny hand and touched Kieran's chest, sending a soft ripple of energy through them both. Kieran smiled. "You are our bridge, Zari," she whispered. "You carry both our strengths, and together, we will face whatever comes next." Tavora watched from the trees, his eyes reflecting pride and determination. "The galaxy will notice soon enough," he said quietly. But for now, they are learning what humans can achieve when courage and spirit are combined with guidance and love. Kieran nodded, feeling a profound truth. Humans were more than ordinary. Their resilience, creativity, and unity made them capable of facing even the most advanced threats. With Zari, their potential was magnified. With Tavir, their strength was guided. And with determination, they could face anything the universe sent their way. The night grew quiet, the stars shining above the settlement. Kieran held Zari close, feeling the pulse of energy that connected them all. The galaxy beyond Arvella was vast and full of unknown dangers. But Kieran knew one thing for certain. Humans had a place among the stars, and they were destined to leave their mark. For now, they rested. But soon, new challenges would arrive, and the lessons of courage, unity, and resilience would be tested once more. And in the heart of it all, Kieran, Tavor, and Zari would face the future together, stronger and braver than anyone had imagined. The morning sun rose over the settlement, casting soft golden light across the silver trees of Arvella. Kieran stood at the edge of the misty forests, Zari in her arms, feeling the warmth of the sunlight on their faces. The child stirred slightly, reaching out a small hand, as if sensing something beyond the visible world. Kieran held her tightly, her mind alert. "They are coming," Tavor said, appearing silently at her side. His voice was calm, but carried the weight of urgency. "We have seen signs. A faction is approaching from beyond the outer planets. They will not stop until they claim Zari's energy." Ayura nodded. She had expected threats, but hearing it from Tavor made the danger real. She could feel Zari's energy responding, subtle vibrations through her body. It was not fear. It was awareness. The child's powers were growing, and with growth came visibility. "We need to prepare the settlement," Kieran said. "The humans here are brave, but they do not know what is coming." Tavor placed a hand on her shoulder. "You will guide them. Humans adapt, but they need leadership and confidence. You have both." Kieran took a deep breath, feeling the energy within her rise again. It had been months since the misty forests, months since Tavor had returned with Zari. But she now realized the full meaning of what had begun. Humans were extraordinary, but together with Zara's abilities and Tavor's experience, they could face forces beyond imagination. The settlement buzzed with activity as humans fortified defenses, prepared energy shields, and trained under Kieran's direction. Soldiers and explorers listened to her instructions carefully, impressed by her composure and clarity. She did not hide her growing strength or awareness, showing them how to use intuition, observation, and timing to their advantage. I watched quietly, occasionally touching the energy crystals used in training. Her tiny hands glowed faintly as she experimented with small bursts of power. Kieran guided her gently, teaching the child control and patience. Every movement of Zari reminded Kieran of the bond between humans and their courage. Even a child could influence the world around her with focus, wisdom, and strength. By evening, scouts reported the approach of the enemy fleet. Ships glimmered in the upper atmosphere, moving silently but with unmistakable purpose. Kieran felt a surge of determination. Humans had faced threats before, but this time they were prepared. This time they were united. Tavor stood beside her, observing the fleet. These beings are relentless. They have weapons far stronger than human technology. But Zari, and your guidance, changed the equation. Fear will not win, Kieran nodded. We will show them the strength of humans and what courage can achieve. The first strike came as the twin moons rose. Energy beams rained down from the sky, landing around the settlement with destructive force. The humans responded with precision, activating shields and using tactics that Kieran had helped devise. Tavor moved like a shadow through the chaos, cutting down enemy drones with his energy blade. Protecting the settlement and guiding the defenders, Kieran held Zari close. Feeling the child's energy pulse in response to danger, the tiny hand on her chest glowed brighter, sending waves of awareness and intuition. Kieran realized she could anticipate the enemy's moves through Zari. Every attack, Every shift in energy was visible before it occurred. Focus, Tavor said quietly. Control fear. Use your energy and hers. Humans survive by thinking, planning, and adapting. Kira nodded. She moved among the defenders, pointing, guiding, and predicting. The humans responded to her instructions as if she were part of the settlement itself. Drones fell, energy beams were deflected, and the enemy realized their calculations were off. Humans did not fight like they expected. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and courageous. Zara's energy flared again, brighter than before. Kieran held her close, feeling the surge of power. The child's abilities allowed her to shield small groups from harm, redirect energy, and even anticipate the enemy's next moves. Humans watched in awe as Zari, barely a toddler, changed the tide of the battle. Tavor struck at a massive drone, advancing toward the energy core of the settlement. Sparks flew, metal screeched, and the drone collapsed. Kieran, using Zari's energy, guided the remaining humans to push back the enemy. Every strategy she gave, every movement she suggested, worked flawlessly. She realized fully now what humans were capable of when combined with focus, courage, and instinct. Hours passed. The enemy fleet tried every tactic, but nothing worked. Zari's powers, combined with human strategy and Tavor's combat skill, created a force they could not overcome. Slowly, the invaders began to retreat, their ships vanishing into the atmosphere. Kieran knelt beside Zari, who had been quiet but alert throughout the battle. "You did well," she whispered. "You protected them all. You are stronger than you know." The child looked up at her, eyes shining with recognition and curiosity. Kieran felt a deep sense of pride, not just in Zari, but in the humans around her. They had faced an enemy far stronger than themselves and had survived because of courage, intelligence, and unity. Tavor approached, his armor reflecting the soft moonlight. "They underestimated humans," he said. "They did not realize the potential in a species that can think, adapt, and act with courage. Zari is powerful, but humans give her balance. You all fight as one, and that is rare in the galaxy." Kieran smiled. "Humans are not the strongest individually, but together, we are unstoppable. We think, we plan, we act, and we protect each other. That is our strength." The settlement began repairs, and the humans shared stories of bravery. Each soldier and explorer felt inspired, recognizing the value of intelligence, courage, and determination. Kieran knew this battle was only the beginning, but it had proven something vital. Humans were extraordinary, and with unity and guidance, nothing could stop them. Zaire continued to grow in strength and awareness. Kieran and Tavor trained her daily, teaching control, patience, and responsibility. The child's energy became more refined, less reactive, and more precise. She could move objects, anticipate danger, and even shield small areas from harm. Each day, Kieran marveled at what humans and their child together could achieve. One evening, as the settlement rested and repairs continued, Kieran looked at Tavor. "We did not just survive," she said softly. "We showed them what humans can do, and we will continue to do so. Zari will teach the galaxy, and we will guide her." Tavor nodded. "Yes, but remember, the galaxy is vast. Other challenges will come. Our enemies will adapt. Our strength will be tested again." Kira nodded, feeling the energy within her and the bond with Zari. She understood now that humans were special because they could learn, adapt, and persevere. They were unpredictable in the best possible way, and that unpredictability was a gift. Zari reached out, touching Kieran's face gently. The warmth of her tiny hand carried reassurance and promise. Kieran smiled, feeling the pulse of energy that connected them all. Together, they were stronger than any threat, more united than any enemy expected, and more extraordinary than anyone could imagine. The twin moons shone above, reflecting on the crystal lakes of Arvella. The settlement was safe for now, but Kieran knew it was only temporary. New threats would arrive, testing humans and aliens alike. But she also knew this. Humans could rise above any challenge with courage, unity, and determination. Tavor stood at the edge of the forest, watching the stars. "They will come again," he said. "But next time, they will see humans in a different light. They will see what we already know. Humans are special, and Zari will show them why." Kieran held Zari close, feeling the child's energy resonate with her own. The forest whispered around them, the air alive with possibility. For the first time, Kieran understood that the events of that night in the misty forests had set in motion a future that would change the galaxy. Humans were no longer ordinary. They were capable of greatness, of courage, and of shaping their destiny. And together, Kieran, Tavir, and Zari would face whatever came next. Stronger, wiser, and united. The galaxy waited. But Kieran knew one truth above all. Humans, guided by courage and spirit, could achieve anything. The settlement of Arvella had settled into a quiet rhythm after the last attack. The humans were repairing damaged buildings, reinforcing defenses, and training with renewed determination. Kieran stood on a small hill overlooking the settlement, holding Zari in her arms. The child's tiny hand glowed faintly, resonating with the energy of the planet and of Kieran herself. Tavor approached, his golden armor reflecting the twin moons. He had been silent for a long time, watching the humans adapt and grow stronger. "The galaxy will not wait," he said quietly. "Others will come. Some will seek Zari's energy, and some will test human resolve." Kieran nodded. "Let them come. We are ready. Humans have courage, ingenuity, and determination. And we have Zari. Together, we can face anything." Tavor's eyes softened. "Yes, together, you three are powerful. But remember, strength alone is not enough. Wisdom and unity are your greatest weapons." The following days passed with intense preparation. Kieran trained the humans alongside Tavor, teaching them to coordinate, anticipate, and use their instincts. Zari learned quickly, guided by her parents' energy and love. The child's abilities grew stronger with every passing day, but she remained under careful control. Small displays of power lit up the night, creating awe among the humans. Then one day, scouts reported a massive fleet approaching Arvella. This force was larger and more organized than any they had faced before. Kieran felt a surge of determination. Humans were not helpless, and Zari's presence made them stronger. Tavor gathered the settlement leaders and soldiers. "They have underestimated you before," he said. "Now they will see why humans survive, adapt, and excel. They will face courage, intelligence, and unity. And Zari will show them what makes her special." Kieran stood beside him. "We fight together, humans and aliens, past and present. Our strength is in our unity. Nothing can defeat us if we act with purpose and courage." The enemy fleet arrived at dusk. Ships shimmered in the sky, energy weapons ready to strike. The humans activated shields, energy barriers, and defense drones. Kieran felt Zari's energy pulse in response to the threat. The child's abilities allowed her to sense incoming attacks, guide soldiers, and even create protective fields around small groups. The battle began. Energy beams streaked across the sky, drones collided in midair, and the settlement shook with the force of combat. Kieran moved among the defenders, anticipating moves, giving guidance, and protecting Zari. Every decision she made was precise, every action calculated. Humans fought with courage, thinking creatively and adapting to the enemy's tactics. Tavor moved like a storm, cutting through advanced drones and protecting key positions. His skill, combined with Kieran's guidance and Zari's energy, created a force beyond what the enemy expected. Every attack they launched was countered, every plan anticipated. Humans, once seen as ordinary, now displayed extraordinary resilience. At one point, a massive warship broke through the outer defenses, heading straight for the settlement center. Kieran's heart raced. She felt Zari's energy flare in response. The child's small hands glowed brightly, directing energy in a way Kieran could sense and predict. Together, they moved strategically. Soldiers followed their lead. The warship was neutralized before it could strike. Zari laughed softly, her joy carrying hope through the chaos. Kieran held her close, feeling pride and love. "You are remarkable," she whispered. "And together, We are unstoppable. Tavor approached, nodding with approval. Humans are unpredictable and courageous. Your creativity, bravery, and unity make you stronger than any enemy expected. Zari's energy amplifies this, but it is your spirit that turns the tide. The battle continued through the night, but gradually the enemy began to retreat. Their ships disappeared into the sky, defeated by a combination of human ingenuity, courage, and Zari's unique powers. The settlement survived without major loss. And the humans had learned a vital truth, together. They were stronger than any threat. When the battle ended, Kiran walked among the humans. Seeing their expressions of relief, pride, and determination, "This is what humans can do," she said softly. "We think, adapt, and protect each other. Nothing can defeat us if we act with courage and unity." Tavor approached, placing a hand on her shoulder. "The galaxy will notice humans now," he said. "Your spirit, your courage, and your adaptability are exceptional. Zari is a symbol of that strength, but it is the humans who give her balance, wisdom, and guidance." Kiran looked down at Zari, who was now asleep in her arms. The child's glow had dimmed for rest, but Kiran felt the connection stronger than ever. "She will grow," Kiran said, "and together we will show the galaxy what humans are capable of." In the following weeks, the settlement rebuilt and strengthened. Humans continued to train, guided by Kiran's leadership and Tavor's expertise. Zari's powers developed steadily each day, bringing new abilities and understanding. The humans learned to work together, combining courage, intelligence, and creativity with Zari's guidance. The people of Arvela began to see humans differently. They had faced overwhelming threats, yet survived and thrived. They had proven that courage, determination, and ingenuity were forces to be reckoned with. Kiran's leadership inspired confidence, and Zari's abilities became a symbol of hope and possibility. One evening, as the twin moons reflected on the crystal lakes, Kiran, Tavir, and Zari stood together. The forest was calm, the stars shining above. Kiran felt a sense of peace she had never known. The battles had tested them, but they had survived and grown stronger. Tavor spoke quietly. "The galaxy is vast. Other challenges will come, but you now understand what humans can achieve. Zari will grow with guidance and strength, and humans will continue to prove their worth." Kiran smiled. "We are not alone. Humans are strong, creative, and brave. And together with Zari, we can face anything." The child stirred in her arms, opening her eyes and looking at both parents. Kiran felt a rush of love and determination. This small life carried the potential of two species, but it was also a reflection of the courage, intelligence, and unity of humans. In the days that followed, the settlement thrived. Humans and Tavor worked together, combining strengths to explore, protect, and understand Arvela and the galaxy beyond. Kiran trained more humans, teaching them the principles of courage, observation, and adaptation. They learned that even ordinary humans could achieve extraordinary things when they acted together. Zari grew steadily, learning control, patience, and responsibility. Her powers became refined and precise. Kiran and Tavor guided her carefully, balancing her energy with wisdom and love. The humans who witnessed Zari's growth were inspired, realizing the strength that comes from unity and cooperation. One day, as they trained near the misty forests, Kiran looked at Tavor. "We have faced danger and survived. We have taught humans and protected Zari, but this is only the beginning." Tavor nodded. "Yes, the galaxy is vast, and there will always be challenges. But now you understand the potential of humans. Courage, ingenuity, and spirit cannot be defeated. Zari is a part of that future, and together, humans and aliens can shape it." Kiran held Zari close. The child's energy pulsed softly, a symbol of growth, hope, and potential. "We will guide her," Kiran said, "and together we will face whatever comes next." The twin moons reflected on the lakes, the forest whispering softly. The settlement was safe, but more importantly, humans had proven their extraordinary capabilities. They were resilient, clever, and courageous. They had fought against overwhelming odds, and had survived because they adapted, learned and acted with unity. Taver looked at Kieran and Zari. "This is a new beginning," he said. "The galaxy will remember humans, not for weakness, but for strength. Not for fear, but for courage. And with Zari, that strength will be multiplied." Kieran nodded, feeling the weight and the promise of the future. She had discovered what humans were capable of. They were ordinary, yet extraordinary. Brave, intelligent, and united. They could face anything the universe threw at them. As the night settled over Arvella, Kieran, Tavir, and Zari stood together. The stars shone brightly above, reflecting the energy of the planet, the courage of humans, and the hope for the future. Kieran knew that life had changed forever. Humans were no longer just explorers. They were guardians, thinkers, and fighters. They were capable of greatness, and the galaxy had yet to see the full measure of their potential. And with Zari, a new generation would rise, bridging worlds, combining strength, and shaping the destiny of the stars. The forest whispered around them. The lake reflected the moons, and the settlement glowed softly with life and determination. Kieran felt a sense of pride and hope. This was only the beginning of a new era, one where humans, guided by courage, spirit, and unity, could face any challenge. Together, they would explore, protect, and thrive. Together, humans and aliens, with Zari as a symbol of possibility, would shape a future that no one could imagine. The galaxy waited, but Kieran knew this truth. Humans, brave and united, could achieve anything. And with that knowledge, she smiled, holding Zari close, ready for whatever adventures the stars had in store.